Meta, the company behind Facebook and Instagram, is rolling back its independent fact-checking service and instead leaving it up to the users to flag information they believe is false.
Which I'm sure is going to go so well. But what does that mean for our social feed? Jess Ghilani is here to shed some light. Jess, I was so excited to not only hear your thoughts on this, but also where you think that we can go. But I feel as though not a lot of people even knew, just talking to friends, that we were being fact-checked. What was that doing? What was that service?
Sure. So Meta partnered with very reputable independent organizations to provide fact-checking services for their platforms. And what those fact-checking services would do is similar to what they have performed, like if you know PolitiFact, for example.
Yes.
That was one of the partners. It's similar to what they perform as kind of a public service in a lot of ways. Now, what the platform would then do is they would make the decision about whether to downgrade something in the algorithm or to remove it entirely. The fact checkers never had the ability to actually take down content. And fact checking as a process, if you think about it in the journalistic sense, is really there to provide additional context.
Yeah.
It's not there to, completely clamp down or censor, which I think is it's kind of being framed as a dichotomy between censorship or fact-checking, or that censorship and fact-checking are the same. That's simply not the case.
Yeah, and now why did they make the decision to take this away? Because I feel like this is what they built the foundation of their company on. Facts.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think they really wanted to, for a long time, I think they needed to earn back public trust after a number of high-profile scandals. And I think our culture and our social media environment are in a moment of big change. And they see that this is maybe a good time to make changes, not only because of the political shifts, but also because a rival platform that's not nearly as popular, but that was considered a public square, Twitter, now known as X, did the same thing. They got rid of their moderation processes, their fact checkers, and now they use a community-generated process.
Right. Now it's the wild, wild west, if anyone's been on X lately. Let's also talk about these AI-generated user profiles, because just like we were talking about with Holly, AI, I feel like at times is overstepping. Why are they doing that?
I think that Meta sees this as the future to foster increased engagement. But this is not brand new for them. They launched AI profiles in September of 2023, and people didn't really, I guess, notice.
No.
So it went viral after an article in the Financial Times in December, and everyone was worried about, like, what does this mean for the platform, especially because Meta, Facebook in particular, before they rebranded as Meta, has long tried to verify the actual person.
Yes, the identity.
Yeah, you had to use your legal name for a long time, or you would get banned. And then to get your account back, you'd have to upload a copy of your driver's license. So for them to suddenly be leaning into the kinds of spaces that are adjacent to bots and trolls, which Facebook also got in trouble for having on their platform, is very surprising and a big reversal from their prior operations.
Well, how do us as users, how can we tell if a profile is real or not? Because some of those we were just looking at Snoop Dogg. That looked like Snoop Dogg. For sure, I'd be fooled.
Is that you, Snoop?
I think that they are supposed to label them. And one of the reasons why they deleted a lot of their AI profiles that were initially launched was because users learned, and there was a lot of backlash about the fact that they couldn't block them. So Meta claimed that there was a glitch that meant that you couldn't block these profiles, and they deleted them all. There was a lot of backlash to the content that people had engaged with these profiles about, and I think that was the real reason, because of the negative publicity. But allegedly, they have promised that we will be able to block them and that they will provide labeling. I'm not sure if that will, if they'll keep that promise.
Tiny, itty bitty. I feel the labeling will be small.
Yeah.
We have a lot of changes to look forward to here. I can't wait to unpack them as they happen. Jess, thank you for this.
I guess all we can do is just wait and see.
There you go.
Yeah.
And put our phones down every once in a while.
There we go.
Don't get our info from Facebook. Dr. Ghilani is hosting a presentation on digital media literacy and info integrity in a few weeks here. It's happening on the 28th at the Carrick branch of the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, and we're going to have more information on our website, kdk.com/talkpittsburgh.